In the expansive wilderness of Siberia, the presence of bears adds a gripping and sometimes hazardous dimension to human interaction with the natural world. On May the 11th, 2015, a routine walk in the eastern Tynda Forest for friends Natalya and Valetina turned into a harrowing nightmare when they were attacked by a brown bear out of the blue. This would be the start of a horrific ordeal that would see Natalya buried alive and fighting for her life whilst trapped underground. Her friend escaped to find help, but would help arrive in time to save her. Let's talk about it. This is the harrowing ordeal of Natalya Pasternak. We start our story in Tynda. Tynda is a town in southeastern Siberia in Russia. It's situated in the Amur Oblast, a region known for its vast landscapes and natural beauty. It's also known for its long, cold winters and relatively short summers. In the town of Tynda lived 55-year-old Natalya Pasternak, who spent her life as a baker and post office worker. She was the mother of 3 and lived in town with her daughter, Katerina. Despite its relatively small size, Tynda offers a glimpse into Siberian life, with its own unique cultural influences and traditions. The surrounding area is known for its beautiful natural scenery, with forests, rivers, and mountains providing opportunities for outdoor activities such as hiking, fishing, and wildlife observation. The region is part of the Siberian taiga, featuring vast forests that stretch for miles, providing homes for a multitude of wildlife. These include Siberian tigers, lynx, wolves, reindeer, and most relevant to this story, brown bears. Brown bears are among the most notable wildlife in the Tynda region of Siberia. In this area, bears primarily inhabit the dense forests and mountainous regions. During the summer and fall, bears actively forage for food to store fat reserves for their winter hibernation. While they generally avoid human interaction, encounters can happen, especially if food sources are scarce or disrupted. That day, Natalya and her 80-year-old friend Valentina had made plans to venture into the woods on the eastern side of town to collect birch sap. Birch sap is a clear liquid collected from birch trees in spring. People drink it as a refreshing beverage and use it to make syrups, wines, and skincare products for its perceived health benefits and nutrients. Around midday, the pair, along with Natalya's dog, ventured to the woods to start their search. After a few hours of collecting birch sap, Natalya rang her daughter to say she was almost finished and on her way home. But when the two were walking back through the woods, Natalya noticed her dog was worried about something. It began to stand still, and it didn't want to move forwards. Sensing danger, the dog began to bark, and not even a few seconds later, Natalya and Valentina were attacked by a bear. At first, the bear went for the dog. The two women then hit the bear with a stick and tried to scare it away. In panic, Natalya thought of running, but decided to stay and help Valentina fend off the bear. She said, "When I saw the bear, I tried to escape. Then I remembered about my friend and stopped. That was the moment when the predator attacked me. The animal started to tear my legs apart. I tried to attack him with something I was using to collect birch sap. Then a quick thought hit me. If the bear takes my legs, I'll be disabled for the rest of my life. It's better to die than be a burden to my children." The bear was now attacking both women and easily overpowered them. The bear was now on top of Natalya and biting her legs. She recalled, "This is it, my death. Who could save us here? It was eating me alive, and I fought back as much as I could." She recalled her life flashing before her eyes. While she was on the floor, Valentina began attacking the bear. It momentarily turned its attention to her, but then dragged Natalya into the forest. At this point, Valentina only had one option. She ran away through the forest and tried to find help. After this harrowing battle, the bear, thinking Natalya was dead, began to bury her alive. It covered her in mud, branches, and leaves. She was barely clinging on to life at this point, but the bear had stopped its attack. It was now searching for Valentina in the woods. Natalya stated, "I felt relieved, warm and quiet. The attacks had stopped, at least for some time." After searching around for about half an hour, the bear gave up and decided to come back for its dinner. The bear started to lick Natalya's wounds, and just when she thought all hope was lost, 2 gunshots rung across the forest. 2 hunters with the emergency services had appeared on the scene and saved Natalya. Her first words were, "Did you kill the bear?" In which they said yes. She then said, "Dig me out." Thankfully, when Valentina ran, she managed to find her way to a water cleaning facility, where she sounded the alarm and called emergency services. Rescuers arrived at the scene just in time. Natalya was barely alive, but she was alive. Once they made sure the bear was dead, the emergency services carefully stretchered Natalya out through the forest. Her injuries were so severe, rescuers said that they easily could have killed most people, but clearly she was a fighter. It was uncertain whether she would survive. Many believed she would not. Natalya had wounds to her scalp, her neck, her groin, arms, and legs, and had to undergo multiple surgeries, but miraculously, she survived. Experts confirmed that the bear had thought she was dead and buried her alive in order to eat her later on. According to Sergei Ivanov, the hunter that shot the bear, it was amazing that she survived. He said, "I left the building where I work and got an urgent phone call from the police. They said that a bear attacked people who were walking in the forest. I grabbed my gun and rushed to the place where we saw a bear. I looked and saw a woman, almost completely buried. Only her face and one arm was sticking out. But she was alive and breathing. She was conscious." Also throughout this, the dog never left her side and was found close by. He explained that the bear was a 4-year-old female who weighed 100 kilograms and stood at 170 centimeters tall. According to him, bears had been encroaching closer to town for a while. Just a few years earlier, a bear had killed a man close to where the attack took place, and just a week before, a bear was shot in a residential district. The incident left Natalya bedbound and unable to walk. Thankfully, with months of rehab and therapy, she made a recovery a lot quicker than expected. One of her children said, "Doctors say that they didn't expect her to recover so quickly, but there were problems. Sepsis started immediately because of the mud in her wounds, and then aseptic pneumonia. Luckily, the doctors found it out almost immediately. My mother had sand and dust in her bronchial tubes from the fight with the bear. Now, she's having problems with her arms. We're worried it won't fully recover, but it is amazing how she has recovered." The near-death experience reminded Natalya of how much she loved life, and she vowed from then on to live it to her fullest. She praised doctors and claimed to be eternally grateful for the help of everyone that saved her life. Her friend, although traumatized at the time, was relatively unharmed and went on to make a full recovery. And yes, the dog was also fine too. Natalya was beyond brave during this attack. She saved her friend's life and fought tirelessly to keep her own. What an amazing woman. Today, she is doing much better and has a new lust for life, and I'm glad she survived and is doing well. As always, this is not an AI channel, I do everything myself, and if you appreciate my work, subscribe, and if you want to go the extra step to support the channel, maybe consider becoming a member. Personally, I found this story fascinating, and clearly, Natalya is an amazing woman. I'd be interested to hear what you think about this case in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching.